right now I was thinking like like almost on Twitter right now, basically it's liberals being like everyone's racist, sexist, and then conservatives being like everyone's a pedophile groomer, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where it's like,
literally.
it feels like conservatives have like lost their minds with all this, like
The
everyone's a
grooming
groomer, right?
Dude,
and you're a conspiracy guy, so it's like, I'm sure you've called lots of people pedophiles, but this is like different.
I mean, when you look at Pizzagate real quick, and you just look at Bill Clinton flying on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 26 times without his Secret Service, and then you look at Hillary Clinton. You know, obviously every time Bill Clinton got caught cheating, she went after the women. So it just kind of shows, you know, they're not these high moral
different,
characters.
yeah.
That's different, but that's the thing. They just go to, oh, he's a pedophile groomer. But at the same time, dude, I've never seen this. When you guys were kids, did your teachers ever tell you what sexual orientation they were? Like, I don't ever remember that being a thing.
So this is one. It's almost like this.
I mean,
one.
I've been doing a joke about it, but I'm like, I didn't even know my teacher's name.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know her personal life or his personal
I didn't
life.
literally know her first name.
I remember, you know, I've been calling everyone gay as a, you know, in protest. I've been going to actual schools and calling the teachers gay. I've been putting my, you know, children's outfit on, sitting in the class and being, yo, this teacher's gay.
I mean, dude, I was just in Florida and I was hanging out with my niece. She's 7 years old.
Yeah,
and she literally, dude, it's like she is on the upper bound. She's on the
Groomer.
upper groomer.
Guy takes a flight to Florida.
7-year-olds
With a
in
7-year-old girl.
Okay.
But she's like on the upper bound of that. Like they're saying we want to be able to, the Don't Say Gays, we want to be able to teach sexual orientation to 5 to 8 year olds. So she's 7. She believes in the tooth fairy.
Yeah, and
And you're supposed to be like, yeah, so there's like
Well, that helps when you show up and wearing the tooth fairy outfit, tutu and all.
Dude, well,
that'll
but
do
they gotta
it
be
for
like,
her.
oh, there's like all these there's 7, and you're
Well,
like, she's like, what?
I gotta
Okay,
say
let me-
this. I didn't take a gender studies class. I was in college. That's when I learned about like intersex people. Because that's the thing. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you're a transphobe.
Wait, you took gender studies?
Yeah, cool. I took one.
You took
Dog.
gender studies?
Dog.
You
Dog.
dog.
But-
Looking for that tang.
Yeah, that was back with the dog.
one thing-
I know why. I know what's going on when you see a dude. Oh, you see a dude taking gender studies. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
that was
is
the original fucking wolf in sheep's clothing.
What
Were
I'm
you wearing the
saying-
suit?
Yeah, no. I was wearing like Adidas and a ripped polo.
No, he was wearing his I'm with her shirt.
I took one gender studies class.
yeah, you
and
did.
in that
Yeah,
class,
you
you learned about intersex
You
people.
filled up your cup so much you never had to go back.
What I'm saying is the reason why they have puberty blockers and hormone blockers is some people are born intersex with both like a penis and a vagina, and the doctor has like these parents have to make lifelong decisions like at birth. A lot of times they give them the reassignment surgery right there. So I get why all that stuff exists, but then letting a 9-year-old pick their sex, you know, and you don't even let them pick their dinner. That's a little
you
weird.
can imagine that like that's not. For me, I was kind of like some of this stuff where they go, oh, the teachers like, okay, listen, sometimes they post things where it's a teacher being like, I'm going to make your kids gay, whether nothing you can do. And then sometimes it'll be like the kid asks the teacher, like, are you gay? And it's like, what's the like, dude? If you're like 12, like 11, you probably know what a gay guy is. Like, there's gay people in the world.
But
Like,
this
what do you want
law's
me to
not
do?
for
Right,
11.
I just have a sketch idea. You need to do a classroom and be super straight. Like, now you need to be a teacher that's like trying to be like a super straight teacher. You know, make their kids all straight. You know, that would be kind of.
I
funny.
was actually thinking for you. I was like actually made me laugh the idea of doing a town hall thing that the gender keeps changing during your speech.
Well, you so like I take it off and I have like a dress on.
Yeah,
and
like
everything.
you keep you
like the Hulk, you're like,
yeah.
Dude, that would be fun. Or I could just change it one time. You know, I could just change it one
like
time.
you go, oh, my pronouns just changed, and you're like different every time.
I'm going to do that.
Or
bit right now,
remember the
yeah.
guy on Just for Laughs, and he was like down the middle, half guy, half woman, the original non-binary guy.
Yeah,
and
no,
he would
that's
do like the
good.
profile thing, and then you turn and he's a woman.
Right.
You could do that.
But it is weird. These teachers.
Okay,
are
so
like,
yeah, tell you know better than me what's going on with the Don't Say Gay. I feel like I know the like discourse, which seems like everyone's lost their mind, but I'm what's actually happening in your opinion?
Well, I mean, nowhere in the bill does it say you can't say gay.
yeah,
And-
I know. I felt like that's not true.
And listen, like I don't even think you should be talking about sex with young children because
it's 4 to 8. Like,
Okay,
if you're-
so I
if
I mean,
you're
you should have
9
sexual education. Like, yeah, freshman in
But
high school,
what-
14. Yeah, maybe you
But like
talk about
I had
it. But
the first, I went to like when did you have? You went to public school. I went to like this Jewish.
okay, so
private
I
school.
agree so far.
Yeah, but like when was your first year of sex ed?
For me?
Yeah, like your
Well,
first
I had like
introduction to-
private classes in phys ed in my grade of kindergarten. Is
With your teacher.
Yeah, I thought we all did. We would do like one-on-one
counseling
after class. It was like the you know how they
touching
have
game. We played the touching game.
The
He
touching
touched
game.
me, and then I touch him. Yeah, I remember playing that game a lot. With my
and that was
priest.
it was by the big tree.
Yeah, by the tree.
in the woods.
Yeah,
No,
and you were sworn to secrecy.
But seriously, it's like I don't want to be. Oh, they're all groomers. But you look at like those libs of TikTok. You look at those.
But here's a perfect example. Okay, so again, I'm not like as you can imagine, I don't think I'm the guy that's like quick to be fucking make a, I don't know what the right words are. Like I feel like I make a fair judgment
you're not
or whatever.
Snapchat.
But
Unbiased,
Libs of TikTok do post things where I'll be like, yo, here's some teacher, and the teacher's saying crazy stuff. But then sometimes they'll post things where it's just like, oh, someone that's just like weird.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, look at this person with all these like piercings, and they're like, I'm a snake or whatever. And you go, yeah, that's like a weirdo.
Yeah, it's
but
just like
you're allowed to be
circus.
think you're a snake if you want to think you're a snake.
Well, I'll just say this, guys. If you're going to public school, and this is the conspiracy castle, it's like all school is basically like indoctrination now. I mean, even whether it's college, it doesn't matter where you go. I mean, like you just walk. I was just walking by NYU or like the Tisch school, dude. Every single kid is like non-binary, and that's fine. That's creative. Like I actually would encourage people if you're to dress weird and be eccentric.
And
I
they're
like
not,
that.
yeah. And really, it's like most of the people that are like, I'm non-binary. It's like, yeah, either you're like a chick that's feminine, or you're a dude that,
You're a dude that's
feminine, or you're a chick
masculine,
that's like, or not even masculine, a chick that just like dresses wacky.
Wears mom pants.
Yeah, which that's cool. Like I'm all about that. But like I said, giving like puberty blockers or hormone blockers, and,
Right.
like kids making lifelong
But
decisions.
that has nothing to do with that bill.
Well, no, but I'm just saying I think that's what the point of the bill is
Yeah.
so like they, can stop more kids. Because dude, this is why.
Well, but you can still
in
get,
the
like-
gay community,
Yeah.
this is the thing. If you talk to anybody, I have lots of gay friends, I'm sure you do too. The amount of people that have done gender reassignment or transitioning now in the 2000s compared to like the 80s and 90s, dude, it's up like literally like 1,000,000%.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure it was
so that's
so
something.
fringe
There's
and,
something. Yeah, I mean, it was so weird. So now, I mean, it's good. I want to be socially acceptable. Listen, if you're gay, straight, I don't care. But at the end of the day, there is some sort of like outside influences that are encouraging people to do this. And I think in Florida, they're just trying to be like,
Well, that's anything.
ultra.
There's like a social contagion
Yeah.
on. Yeah, I think you're right. But like, so the main thing that, like, if you take the actual bill, it's that don't say gay. If the actual bill is like, hey, we're not going to talk about sex, period.
You could call it the "Don't Say Straight" bill too. I mean,
that's what Tim Pool was
yeah.
saying.
saying.
But you're not talking about that stuff to kids between the age of 4 and 8.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, we don't talk about this. It's like the whole
Look,
thing
guys,
is
think about
4
how
and 8.
much
But what
media
if, okay,
attention.
so then let's say, what if a kid goes to a teacher and he's like, hey, are you gay?
Life in prison.
And then you're supposed
no.
I don't know. I guess, yeah. I
And
guess.
you go, well, why else would my cock be in your mouth?
But guys, you don't see how stupid this is that the media is pumping this up. It's all bullshit. I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally like, even if it gets passed, it doesn't get passed. It's all just to like
guess
literally
I'll
divide
just
us
say,
and,
yeah.
and make us fight over some stupid and
But that's what I'm
thing.
saying. I
Yeah.
just see the pump up both ways because I'm like,
Yes.
every day it was like, look at this teacher's a pedophile, and it was like,
I mean,
he's
well, I'll
just
say
gay.
this. When I was 7, if I went to an adult and said, are you gay? They'd be like, it's none of your fucking business.
Exactly. That's how it should be.
Yo, what do you, like,
Yes.
none of your
yeah,
business,
but okay,
kid.
sure. But if you went out to your teacher and said, "Hey, do you have a husband?" and she could say it's none of your business, but she could also say like, "Yes."
Yeah.
So if you
Dude,
teach, if you go,
I've-
I don't think it's that like
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of the realm of possibility that some kid's gonna go up to a teacher and be like, "Hey, do you have a husband?" And she goes, "No, I'm actually, I don't know,
what?
whatever."
Yeah, but Ryan, I want to say this.
It's just like it's not obvious that it's
I find it hard to believe that in that scenario specifically, where a kid goes, "Do you have like that person's being like, yeah, I'm going to jail now." That's
No,
like
of
that
course.
stuff is
Yeah, yeah.
coming. Of
But
that.
I mean, it might be posted. I don't know. I mean, it might be
like really, someone's gonna be like, "My teacher told my 7-year-old."
That's what I've been seeing on Twitter
Yeah,
lately.
that's what
I feel like they'd be like, "Look at this fucking groomer."
Well, that's what the left is saying too. They're like, if I say gay, I'm going to jail for life, which that's not true either.
everybody on the right,
Right.
everybody on the right is like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna teach them like how to be transgender," and you're like, "I don't think that's what that." Like,
Well, I got to say this. When
right.
I was
like,
in
that's what they're worried about, but I don't think that's happening.
When I was in 4th grade, one of my teachers also, she had a side job. She worked as a waitress at a restaurant. I remember one time we just went there and not knowing it. And I liked the restaurant. My mom, we never went back.
Is it
'cause we didn't-
shocking?
Well, no, it's not shocking, but I'm saying we didn't want to see that part of our teacher's life. We didn't want to see her because she's my teacher. We
just
should.
weird to see it,
I'm just
though.
saying you shouldn't be in your teacher's personal business. I just
Yeah.
think there should be some sort of separation of church and state, separation of teacher's personal life and teaching. Like I guess
Yeah.
that's crazy, but I am a psychopath. So
No,
that's
see,
all right.
Yo, if that's
agree.
crazy, then I
Teachers-
guess call me fucking loco, bro.
Teaching was the one thing where you always just like, yeah, you're like, I don't know, you're my teacher, and that's it.
I remember we saw our one teacher smoking outside, and it was really funny. We caught him smoking, and it is very back in the day when you see your teacher doing anything outside of teaching.
You hear
I
a
remember,
teacher swear accidentally because they lose it.
Swear.
You're like, what?
We knew our one
just
teacher was an
happened?
alcoholic. There's one teacher, even the littlest things that are so weird. So I was in like kind of suburby area, right? And then basically one of the teachers, grown man, we knew he didn't drive, and he had the art teacher used to drive him home every day. And even that was like so weird. This guy had to wait around for the other teacher to finish.
Yeah,
to
you
come.
see him
That
get in the
is
car.
weird.
Something so weird about knowing anything
That's what I'm
about
saying.
your teacher.
Seeing my teacher as a waitress was weird. It's not a bad thing. It was just,
you know,
a
it's
fish out of
weird.
water. It was
Yeah,
just
it's like
weird.
you have
Weird.
this image of them as
Yeah.
like almost like, you know, this. I don't know. I don't
They're
say
like, you know-
godlike, but they're like in this realm of. I don't know, like when you're 7.
Yeah, so there is teachers that, you know, you'll see the videos where a teacher will be like, I came out of, you know, the closet to my kids today and I'm so happy. And it was just like, do you really need your validation from your like 1-year-old?
Yeah,
son?
Or dude, the limited
Exactly.
TikTok where they're like, "Oh, my teacher or my students call me the right pronoun," and it's like, I get it, but I mean, we shouldn't be celebrating that. Like, it shouldn't be worthy of a post on Twitter. Like, "Oh my God, they called me Zim," or "They called me Zer,"
Well, it's
or
also,
whatever,
it kind of is that thing about like, yeah, it would be this equivalent of like, you know, here's the thing. I keep thinking the other way and it's not the same because I'm like, I'm going back and forth on this where I go, if a teacher was like, oh, I just, you know, I'm getting married and I told my kids about it and they all like, you know, cheered or whatever, like that doesn't seem crazy.
No.
So, but what
I'm
if
just
someone
saying,
said, no, but
never
no one would,
happened.
what do you mean?
When I was 7,
I don't think it's
teachers
that
never-
crazy for a teacher to be like, hey, I'm going to be taking a week off because I'm getting married and all the teacher, but if
You
a
get
teacher,
4 months off in the summer. Do it then.
Yeah,
okay,
you got a fair
sure.
point.
You're all talking like hypothetical, but like, what if that actually happened? I think no one would have a problem. But what if a
Yeah.
teacher said, "Hey, I'm going to be away next week because I'm getting gay married"? Like, are you not allowed to say that?
See, I think you should be able to say like, you know, you're getting married to a man or for a man. I mean, I don't think that's
Well, that's
that big
it.
a deal.
Can
Can't
you?
you just say I'm
That's
getting
what I'm.
married?
I think
That's
you
what I need to
can.
get to the bottom of.
I
Can
think
you say
can
that?
say that. It's talking about. I think the bill just specifically talks about the instruction.
You don't want to tell them about the
teaching-
wedding night.
Well, no, exactly. You don't want to tell them that. You know, you guys.
So this is a cock ring.
You,
Yeah.
you can't come back after the wedding, like walking funny, like, oh, where do I start?
It's like Michael Scott when he came back
I
from
see.
Jamaica with the beads. You know, you're like, sore your butthole.
So
sore.
I guess y'all notice I'm walking funny. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, sit down, everybody.
Oh,
So is
man.
that kind of what it is? They're like, you are allowed to do that, or
I
you're
think
not?
I think that's the hysterical case of saying like, you know, it's the very.
Well, I'm saying, what's in the
getting-
bill? That's what I'm actually
I don't-
asking. I'm
It
not
doesn't
reading
say
these things.
don't say gay, but it just says you're not supposed to have sexual orientation instruction from the ages 4 to 8.
Instruction, but you
Yeah.
can talk about their own.
I believe so. I don't think you're going to go to jail if you said, "Oh, I'm getting my."
No, I don't think any of it's jail.
Yeah, you go.
Fired,
yeah,
right?
a guy goes, my husband, or something like.
If a dude
Yeah.
goes, my husband, like, hey, listen, last
hell?
night I was
My husband
at the
and I
movies
watched,
with my gay husband.
You know, Brokeback Mountain.
But
or
like
whatever.
honestly, from another
favorite
standpoint
movie.
of like when you're saying the pronoun stuff, you go like a 7-year-old got my pronouns right. Like if you're the parents, like what a nightmare where that kid comes
Such
home
a nightmare.
because they don't really
Yes.
they don't really get it.
The pronoun
and then now
stuff,
it's
you
like,
go, yeah.
and now the parents are like. Yeah, I have to deal with you deal with this for an hour a day.
But the
And
gay
now I
stuff's
come
not
But
home
the
and
bad.
worst
I
thing
have
is the
to-
pronouns all about virtue signaling. Like, I call into New York City hall meetings all the time. And dude, in the New York City hall, I swear, and you guys, I can't believe you haven't seen some of them. And I'm like yell and scream about stuff. But you like have to have him, her, or she, he, whatever.
Right,
you have
yeah.
to have your pronoun. So that's all a virtue signal.
Well, for me, it is interesting you say that because, like, it's like we live in fucking New York. I came from Toronto. Like everyone, a million people that have that stuff. But if I'm hiring someone, whenever I'm thinking about working with someone, if they have their pronouns, I always am a little like skeptical because it's almost like the pronoun thing is they pledged like allegiance to like because this person doesn't even think it, but they go, okay, but they pledged allegiance to it. So I know that if there was any controversy, what side you're on.
Yeah.
Because you go,
dude.
imagine
it's
some
a literal dog whistle.
Imagine
or-
it's a dog whistle. Because imagine Twitter got mad at me. Let's say I signed with like an agent or whatever that had that, right? And then Twitter was mad at me. Well, I know what's like which side they'll like pander to or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because they did that. So it is an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's just signifying what team you're on.
Yeah.
Right.
Is I'm on
And
the
you're trying to virtue signal, but to who? I mean, seriously, like no.
to everybody else on your team.
I guess.
So
but
I've
I mean,
avoided
It's
sponsors
like
and stuff like that.
It's like a
with the-
signal.
that.
Really,
You say,
yeah.
hey,
Lots of
everybody,
times.
we're on this team. I'm on this team. It's like
unless they were
thing.
gay. Like if it was like a trans person,
Yeah,
and it was she, and then I would probably that would be like I wouldn't avoid them necessarily because I'd be like, oh, they actually like that makes sense for them to have pronouns because I can't tell.
Well, see, and I don't ever want to be transphobic. Like, I actually encourage people, if you, like you said, if you want to change your sex as an adult, go ahead. Like, do it. And I think
preferable.
I mean, I actually like it better because you leave some pussy for the rest of us. But what I'm saying is, and that's like the one situation. Yes, you need to have your pronouns if you're non-binary. That makes sense.
But when you see some dude with a beard,
in a suit, like the mayor of Mesquite, Texas, has his pronouns, and
Dude,
it's
my
like,
friend
we know
works-
you're a man, Daniel Alameda, or whatever her name
Dude,
is.
my
Like,
friend works at like a fucking like major, or he actually just quit, but he worked at one of the top 5 banks in Canada, like one of the biggest banks in the world, and he never followed this stuff, and he was like, all of a sudden, people were having their like pronouns in their like email signature, and he didn't even know what it was. Like he was so late, he's not on social media or nothing, and we were just joking because like eventually he's like, eventually I'm gonna like I'm gonna be the only guy who doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where you go, it's just like people start doing it, and then it reaches a point where you're like, what? So I'm gonna be the minority
but guys,
of people who are like not doing this.
But that's why comedy is dead. That's why you guys are so successful at making sketches, because you're not politically correct. I mean, you guys aren't even that politically incorrect. But I'm saying like it's just now there's such a void because people are trying to follow the leader. People are just trying to fit in, and that's why that's the problem with our culture right now. It's like, oh, I'm gonna put it in because everybody else is doing it. No, do your own shit. Be a lone wolf. That's there's such a void in comedy now. That's why you guys are successful, because you guys are filling that void. When you have companies like SNL that's supposed to be the top comedians, no, because they're all about virtue signaling and putting the pronouns in your bio of comedy.
Yeah,
so
they're like the corporate mainstream.
Yeah, they're corporate. Yeah.
So that's why
And
it
again,
sucks.
if you're a
Nobody likes
corporation,
that.
that's just like path of least resistance is to do that.
Thank you for watching that clip, supporting the channel. If you like the Boyscast, there's a new episode every week at patreon.com/theboyscast.
That's patreon.com/theboyscast.